The adventure begins with us, the self-insert master, waking up in the middle of
Location redacted,
where we get bullied by a rat squirrel dog and a sad eggplant-colored child who randomly decides to call us senpai. We're then sent to our day 1 orientation by a definitely not evil random guy, and as soon as our boss starts talking to us, we fall asleep in class. Nice! We then get sent to our room without dinner or dessert, where we immediately meet one of the only important NPCs from this entire chapter. The quirky haha medical professor introduces himself as Roman Ni Ark of the Covenant, but we just agree to call him Dr. Roman. Without warning, everything goes to shit as all of the main hall goes up in flames, killing everybody that isn't important to the plot. As it has been foretold, the sad eggplant survives and we get sent on a wacky interdimensional adventure to a D-tier Fates Tonight fanfiction. There, we fight a bunch of legally distinct shadow servants, whatever that means, before we encounter a magical Irish dog who may or may not be plot relevant in the distant future. Together with our whack-ass Final Fantasy party, we make it to the center of this singularity, whatever that means, where we have to fight another group of legally distinct shadow servants and King Arthur, but a woman and evil. We ultimately defeat her through the power of friendship and plot armor, meaning that our freshly awoken eggplant shield hero is equally as powerful as a legendary king who wields a sword that can level entire continents. Immediately following our totally realistic and not plot-mandated victory, our boss is killed by the definitely not evil random guy who popped up before, which kickstarts the rest of the main plot.
objective,
Defeat
name redacted,
by fixing his messes across all of human history, solve 7 disruptions in the space-time continuum, and collect the 7 holy grails, whatever that means. Since we have to essentially correct the largest flaws in reality, it only makes sense that our first stop would be France. We wake up and are transported to Orleans, the first singularity. Even though if we use second singularity, we want to first, but whatever. There, we immediately meet up with a not saint who should definitely be dead, who basically tells us that she has no idea who she has no idea where she is, all she knows is she must kill. We later meet up with a soon-to-be headless queen of France and a sarcastic SoundCloud rapper, who both collectively teach our eggplant kohai the meaning of life via 2000 slang and rivers. The gang then gains some members and loses some members as we defeat the one-note villain of the week, leading up to the final showdown against a weird tentacle monster and evil Jeanne d'Arc.
What do you mean Gilderay is the real final boss?
We win, we celebrate, we leave with our heads held high and with a brand new shiny gold cup in tow. That's pretty much it. Following our impeccable victory in France, we get teleported to the third singularity, which just so happens to be located in Rome. We cross over a hill to see 2 Roman armies fighting each other, with one led by a strange woman that definitely isn't Nero. It's Nero. That joke doesn't really work at all. I don't know why I thought that joke would even remotely function. We push back one army, then another army crashes into us, this one led by a soon-to-be illiterate Roman emperor who just so happens to be the Red Saber's uncle. After defeating another army with the help of oddly powerful human woman Nero Claudius, we go on a field trip to get an exposition dump where it is revealed that the big bad of the week is the United Empire, not that one. The bad guys have apparently taken over half of the current Rome, and it's up to us to stop them, obtain another cup, and end the singularity. Whatever that means. We are then randomly sent off to Gaul, where we meet a C-tier waifu and a B-tier dental patient who have the honor of being the best characters in the singularity, simply for being the only ones with tangible motivations. We then fight off another army from the United Empire, still not that one, and kill the fat salad man before heading back to Rome. Steno is also here for some reason. We do a couple more back and forths across the map, defeating a few 1 to 3 star servants along the way, before Nero beats the funny Roman custodian man in a fight. We then kill another tentacle monster and everybody has a surprise final encounter against, checks notes, Alien Attila the Hun. Sure! Bet, not the wackiest thing I've seen this week, we'll go with it. We win, obtain another cup, and move on because we all have collectively better things to do with our time. The third stop on our magical mystery tour is Okeanos, aka Pirates of the Mediterranean, starring Captain Drake Sparrow, Uriah Lee Swan, Hector Barbosa, and the f***ing Minotaur. Despite Drake giving us a Holy Grail for free, the plot demands that we go find the evil Holy Grail. Unholy Grail? In order to resolve the turbulent seas caused by the competition between the 2 cups. Our new RPG party then hops from island to island in this whack-ass ocean, taking down all of the pirate kings to become the One Piece, which leads to several epic boss fights. In order, we defeat Eric Bloodaxe, the wielder of a bloody axe, Edward Teach, the wielder of every single Orange Maru Dojin, Hector, the wielder of a moderately large stick, and Jason, the wielder of Heracles. After a long and arduous battle, we eventually defeat the Argo and fuse the 2 Holy Grails. Shortly thereafter, Data tosses some shade at Solomon, the apparent big bad of the arc, and everybody turns into gold dust, allowing us to travel back home and catch the Pirates of the Mediterranean Marathon.
Have you seen those things?
Oh, yeah. Those are great.
The next stop in the Chaldea cinematic universe takes the gang to London, where we discover that the self-insert master has a weird immunity to most forms of poisons and toxins. This is brought up in side quests and for comic relief, and you will be forgiven if you forget about it. Using this discovery, we walk around the ever-foggy city until we meet Mordred, who is the best character in the entire game up until this point, and it isn't even close. Mordred introduces us to a few more 1 to 3 star servants, and together we solve the mystery of why the pseudoscientists are trying to create a tear in the space-time continuum. The short answer, Zoken. Like, actually, it's just all Zoken's fault. After some mild betrayal from Frankenstein's monster, yes, really, Dr. Jekyll reveals his inner Mr. Hyde, the bad guys summon evil Nikola Tesla, we randomly obtain a Kentucky and a Tamami, and everybody is slain by King Arthur, but a lady, and evil, and a Lancer. Mordred uses the power of being in her edgy teenager phase to kill her dad, but it's almost all in vain, as the gang is then ganked by Solomon himself. He goes to kill Mordred, misses, and kills the Dutch Shota instead, but then he pieces out because he got bored, I guess. We take our cup and say goodbye to the only entertaining character we've met so far, but not before she says some vague shit about knowing the identity of the strange man inside her eggplant. Wait. Following our adventures in Britain, the gang decides that we really need an extra serving of freedom in this arc, so we travel to America to resolve the 5th singularity. And before any YouTube comments get on my ass about this, I'm not calling it E pluribus that. You cannot make me. It is America. Deal with it. After the gang recruits a white mage cosplaying as a machinist, we end up fighting a 45-year-old dolly stereotype, which is a trope that Japan is obsessed with for some reason. After she loses, she calls hacks and summons f***ing Karna, who easily could have killed us but decides not to because he's the only one out here without eternal bloodlust in his eyes. We're then taken to court where we meet Lion King Thomas Edison, who throws us in jail for not being patriotic enough. God bless America. After Geronimo Stilton helps us do a prison escape, we join the Rebel Alliance where we meet up with the 2 best characters in the Singularity and one of my least favorite servants of all time. We fight some Celtic heroes on our way to reunite the bitch prince and his bitch wife, then meet up with bridal jumpsuit Nero Claudius just outside of Dallas, and then split the party so that we can obtain a superpowered Rama, which is the most boring outcome I could have possibly asked for. Moments later, Nero's gang get their asses kicked by an evil Irish dog, while the rest of us infiltrate Alcatraz because Rama is only capable of thinking about how depressed and horny he is. Somewhere along the way, we meet a total baddie and also a Skahak who vow to one day cross spears. Alright, I'm tired of talking about the Singularity. The Rebel Alliance convinces the racist lion man to join their side, and together they kill the Irish because they're different, which is honestly the most American thing in this entire Singularity. We get the cup after we kill the dog and a tentacle monster before heading back to our room, and I f***ing hate this game. God, this writing is so ass, brother. It's been 6 Singularities. There's only been like 2 characters I actually like. The storylines are predictable. The characters are all cardboard cutouts. The encounter scenarios are rinse and repeat. Is there any good writing in this game? Huh? Huh?
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was just working on a couple routines. I am all set to record my scenes now. Guys? 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 Oh man, not again.